Each year, something like $90 billion and millions of Americans are affected by back pain. So with that being said, I thought this might be a good topic to talk about. All right, people spend a lot of money on all these back braces and all these different things as far as what can I do for my back. They have medications. People talk about surgery, physical therapy. We're not here to talk about all those things. We're here to talk about, one, what is in there, and two, what are the major things that cause problems. All right, so we're going to start with this. Here's your back. And everyone's probably seen a picture of this. If you didn't know this, the actual design of it allows it to be much stronger in this nice curve shape. Allows all the pressures to go out in different directions as opposed to just going straight up and down, which would actually collapse the whole back in no time if it wasn't designed like this. So kudos to the design. All right, let's kind of look in on this a little bit. We know we have the little bones here called vertebra. Maybe you didn't know, these little parts down here where the bones come together, they're called facets. It's just where bone contacts bone, and then they kind of twist and turn off one another. But the real main topic of today are these little cushiony things here, and you've probably heard them. They're called the spinal discs in your back, and they oftentimes get a lot of press and media because they seem to cause problems. Let's find out a little bit more about that. Well, here's the reason. These things act like a big cushion in between your vertebra and your back. At the beginning of the day, they're about this big. And then throughout the day, they just kind of squish down because they bring water in and out of them. And what that does is it provides you cushioning. Well, why is that important? Well, you have a lot of fancy electrical equipment that's coming out of your back, and you do not want any of those bones or muscles or anything that's in there to be pushing on those nerves, particularly in the disc itself. It can cause problems. So knowing this, well, what are things that can prevent major problems from happening? We're not here to talk about all these different exercises that you need to do. We're just talking about 4 big things that can cause back problems in pretty much everyone across the board. Here's number 1. You've got to stop smoking. You've heard it for cancer. You've heard it for problems with your cardiovascular system, bad breath. I don't care about those things right now. Let's talk about what it does to your back. Here's the deal. This disc right here does not get good blood flow. It just doesn't. Body wasn't designed that way. It gets blood flow by coming from this bone right here, right at this edge of this ridge is where it's going to get most of its flow from. Well, here's the problem. If you smoke on a regular basis, you actually do a lot of damage to that. So here's what happens. We have this little canyon that sits in between here, and on one side, we have the blood. All right, we got this. All right. And on the other side, well, you're begging for some sort of nutrients to get in there. And here's the problem. Smoking makes this rift even bigger, and here's what happens. It's not getting to the other side. So what happens now is your back starts falling apart. That's a bit of a problem. Here's the second thing that can really cause a problem. Sitting all day. The back was not designed to sit. People who complain of backaches and hurt from standing and moving around all day, it is nowhere near as bad as sitting for 8 hours a day in a chair. Okay, so being able to get up and move a little bit actually does the back a little bit of justice. And the reason being is because, come right back to it again, here's the back of it sitting in that position, and this thing's getting squished all day. It's not getting that nutrients it needs by compressing and squishing and compressing and squishing, as we talked about. It's very important that you just get up and move. All right. Here's number 3. You've probably done this before. Bad mechanics picking things up. Bending over at the back to pick things up is horrible. The back was not designed for this. It's really good at being a strong, stable structure. It's not good at this bending motion right here. It can cause excessive pressure on those discs, and it can cause things to go wrong at some point in your life. And here's the last one. Yes, I said it. If you are overweight, it's just a matter of simply mass and gravity. Because here's what happens. Gravity's not changing. It is always pulling us down, 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 down. The more you weigh, the more it's going to squish on those discs and cause more problems. It is not a linear relationship, meaning the more you weigh, the more problems you'll have. It just means this. It is going to put more pressure on your back. If you're having back pains, being able to lose some weight can benefit you greatly. So in review, you got to get rid of those cigarettes. If you have a job where you sit all day, get up and move. Do you some good. Probably make you more energized and more efficient at work. Second, good mechanics. Lift with those legs, lift with those hip muscles. Don't be throwing your back around in all different motions just to be able to lift something. And finally, if you can stand to lose a few pounds, it would really benefit you for now and in the future in regards to your back health. So if you have any questions, I love talking about this topic, and I'd be happy to help. Take care.